Anthony Davis. Where do I begin? I feel bad, honestly, because he's such a great player, but injuries, man, screwed him up. But at the same time, I don't really feel that bad. I've lost so much money betting on parlays, and Anthony Davis just happens to be that one leg that just never hits. Now, around a month ago, Anthony Davis suffered an adductor strain as his first game as a Maverick. As part of his recovery process, the Mavericks want him to practice with the G League team, the Texas Legends. If everything goes well, Davis will be able to return and help the Mavs push for a playoff spot. I wanted to figure out if there's a reason on why he's such an injury-prone player. But to figure this out, we have to go back in time. Back in time when he was still in high school. Davis is known for his finishing, defending, but the same couldn't be said for when he was a freshman. Being that he was only 6 foot, he was known as a kid that would only shoot threes. The even worse part about all of that was that the charter high school he went to didn't even have a proper gym. They had to train at a church's gym nearby. If any of you guys have ever been or heard of a charter school, it's a school that has a strong academics foundation but poor sport structure the majority of the time. Luckily for Davis, he had his breakout moment when he grew up to 6'8", and at that same moment, he joined the Mean Streets AAU program, his junior league. Playing in that league, he was able to catch the attention of scouts, garnering interest from schools like Syracuse. As a senior, he would grow another 2 inches and would as well become the #1 ranked high school in the nation. Ohio State and Kentucky, as well as other universities, were calling his name as he finished high school. Ultimately, Davis committed to Kentucky on August 13th, 2010. He was averaging 14.2 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. Playing 1 season with the Kentucky Wildcats to win the NCAA championship, he would then go on and become the #1 pick in the 2012 NBA draft.
With the first pick in the 2012 NBA draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Anthony Davis.
I want to figure out and see what injuries made Anthony Davis such an injury-prone player as he rose to superstar status. Starting off, Davis played very great, even though he was a rookie, finishing second in Rookie of the Year voting. He would get injured his rookie season, playing 64 out of 82 games in the season. But what happened? He would start off with something small, like a concussion, in his second career game, which is something that just made him miss 2 games. Something slight, right? 15 days after that, he would receive another injury that would haunt him for the rest of his career, which would be his ankle. He got a stress reaction, which is caused by lots of repetitive stress to the bone without having enough proper time to heal. He missed 11 games straight due to this injury. It can't get any worse for Davis, right? It's his rookie season. Yes, it can get worse. As 5 months after the ankle injury, he would sprain his left shoulder, which is another injury that would haunt him for the rest of his career. But wait, there's more. 2 months after that, he would get another injury, which would be an MCL sprain, which caused him to miss the final 4 games of the season. It sucks to say, but Davis's rookie season was a good and bad one. The next season was a bit of a repeat of the last season. The additions to Davis's body would be his dislocated index finger against the Cleveland Cavaliers. His left hand would suffer a non-displaced fracture, which is pretty much like a broken bone Happy Meal version, in the sense that the bone isn't really that unaligned. He would also receive back spasms less than a month after the ankle injury, which made him only miss some minutes in a game. There was also 1 more day he did not play the season. We see something here. The first season of his NBA career was a foundation for his indestructible Deadpool-type body, as he would get lots of fixes to his body. The 2014-2015 season would be a little bit better, but that fucking shoulder would fuck him over again, as well as his ankle and back spasms. A new injury added to the arsenal would be the sprained toe, something not too crazy, causing him to miss a couple games. He overall did better, even making it to the playoffs. But at the same time, being swept by these guys, the Golden State Warriors, following up on the next season, would be a bit better for Davis. He would have way less injuries. The injuries he had were nothing out of the ordinary. No, just the same fucking shoulder, as well as a knee injury. He fell on his back as well, but it was just nothing too crazy. Just a slap on the back, literally, as well as the same injury. Another pattern we start to see is that the left side of his body is more fragile than the right side of his body. That's kind of weird. He had amazing numbers this season, as well as a career high of 59 points and 20 rebounds. This was by far his best season yet, but the injuries he sustained were toward the end of the regular season. For that, made him not able to help carry his team to secure a playoff spot. 2016-2017 was a great year for Davis, He didn't have any injuries, being healthy all year round. It was finally starting to look pretty good for Data Davis. They just couldn't make the playoffs. It was too much for Davis to carry, and the DeMarcus Cousins trade took time to build team chemistry, and eventually they just didn't win enough games to get a spot. This upcoming season was special. For the first time, we're introduced to the strained groin injury, and other injuries like the usuals. You got the left knee swelling, the concussion, the sore ankle. Despite all of these new and old additions to his body, he was able to lead the Pelicans to the playoffs, since he only missed 7 games. It was his healthiest season by far. Now, he should be able to make it past the first round of the playoffs, right? I mean, we got Drew Holiday, we got Nikola Mirotic. They were just fine. They ended up sweeping Dame Dollar and the Trailblazers, but then the Golden State Warriors just had to ruin the day for Data Davis, huh? Just as we thought it wouldn't get any better, 2018-2019 would be the worst season to date. He played 56 out of the 82 games in the season. His stats were pretty decent, but Anthony's back was not only hurt from carrying, his body was hurt from actual injuries. We would also be introduced to 3 newer injuries. We got the right elbow sprain, right hip strain, and the usuals like the left index finger sprain. He received new additions to his body, but what caught my eye were the illnesses. They didn't disclose what his illness was. Who knows, it was probably like the flu or some stomach virus or something. Furthermore, Data Davis asked for a trade request mid-season, but was denied, ultimately leaving the Pelicans. And for the start of his 2019-2020 season, he went to the Los Angeles Lakers.
This is the biggest one of all. The Pelicans have agreed to finally trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers now,
where he would have his best year, I think, out of his entire career, winning the championship in the bubble. Getting there would obviously come with some injuries. No surprise there. We got the shoulder injury, but on the right side at this time, as well as his most infamous ankle sprain. Something new to the pot was the gluteus maximus contusion. In other words, he bruised his ass falling against the New York Knicks. He would miss 9 total games this season. Data Davis was just too dominant this season, man. This year, he was able to solidify himself as one of the greatest two-way players the NBA has ever seen. 2020-2021 would be the complete opposite for Anthony Davis. He would suffer from right calf strains, which is something new never seen before. And to top that off, he had Achilles tendonitis, which is when the Achilles tendon becomes swollen, causing the tendon to stiffen. That 2-in-1 combo right there would cause a lot of damage. He would miss 30 consecutive games. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, during the playoffs, the Lakers would lose their first game. Nothing crazy, right? They would go on and win their next 2 games, leading the series 2-1. And then this happens. Dude, what the fuck? Can this guy just stay healthy, man? Jesus Christ. Game 4, they would lose. Game 5, they would lose. Game 6, there's no way. Data Davis has to come back. This is his Karate Kid moment. He did come back for 5 minutes, and he re-aggravated the groin injury. Next season wouldn't even treat him the best either. Has the right ankle on the right side of his body, and the MCL in his knee on the left side of his body would just fucking give up. He would miss 17 games due to his MCL sprain, and 18 due to his right ankle injury, missing a grand total of 42 games that season out of the 82. He would play pretty solid, but not as good as his previous seasons. Because of his indestructible body, they were not able to make it to the playoffs. The good thing about this was that all those injuries, it made Anthony have some fun, playing some GTRP with LeBron.
We need the number though. We need you got a cell phone?
Okay, I had one. Let me see. Nigga, I think y'all niggas took my cell phone when y'all wrote it.
Go to the. I robbed that nigga earlier.
Y'all niggas took my cell phone, nigga.
We robbed that nigga earlier. Hey,
Yeah.
Off-topic discussion, but why is LeBron's mic so bad? He probably asked Bronny for a mic, and Bronny just gave him that Flight Reacts Burger King headset. But honestly, the ankle and the knee were really bad. Hopefully we get no shoulder injury this season. 2022-2023, the shoulder in fact did not come back this season, but however, he sustained a right foot injury. This made him absent for 20 games. Nonetheless, the Lakers finally made it to the playoffs, beating the Memphis Grizzlies. The Golden State Warriors, AD played every single game of the playoffs. Now, we got a Data Davis that's an injured, maybe a couple bruises here and there, but that's all. Unfortunately, someone else had different plans. The Nuggets. This guy Jokic would hit these crazy shots on everyone, sweeping the Lakers in the process. But at least Data Davis and the Lakers would have a different season next year, right? Davis would have no injuries, really. This helped the Lakers secure the 7th seed, clinching their booty holes into the playoff spot. Sadly, all of their efforts were dismayed by this guy once again. So for 2 seasons in a row, we had a healthy AD and no reaction, man. Jokic was just too good, or the Lakers just needed a better big man, better center. Now last but not least, the 2024-2025 season. It was just a nice, wonderful day. AD was being loyal, doing his own thing, until this happened.
Lukadoncic headed to the Lakers, Anthony Davis headed to the Mavericks in a seismic trade that shakes up the reigning.
This shit hit us like Shaq making a 3-pointer as a buzzer beater for the first time. The crazy part about all of this is that Anthony was healthy, playing good enough to position the Lakers as a 4th seed in the standings. After the trade, the Lakers are doing way better without AD, having their win percentage go up by almost 9%. Well, hopefully Davis finds his home at Dallas and keeps being healthy after his groin injury. To conclude everything, after all of this research, I found a surprising, not that surprising, not even surprising at all, fun fact stat about Anthony Davis. He's played 779 games out of 1,011 games. He's missed 232 games due to injury, COVID, and illness. The probability that Anthony Davis misses a game due to injury is a whopping 22.3%. That's like almost saying 1 out of every 5 games he can't play. Well, hopefully you learned something in this video that made you not want to bet on Anthony Davis for the rest of your life. I feel bad for Davis. He was doing so good this season and he just got injured in that groin. Until next time, see y'all boys then.